Yo, what's good everyone? As you may have heard, the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro was announced a couple days ago. And big thanks to Google for sending this device out to me to test. I'm still working on my full in-depth photographer's review of the Pixel 6 Pro. But in the meantime, I had to make this video to tell you guys about my 5 favorite features of this new camera system. This is going to be a shorter video, so definitely stick around until the end because there is one feature that no other Android device has, and it's something that we have been asking for so long. Okay, so if you've seen my Pixel 5a review, you'll know that I knocked it for not having a Pro mode. And while the Pixel 6 Pro still doesn't have full manual controls, they've added this white balance adjustment slider into the camera screen so that you can adjust your highlights, your shadows, and your color temperature, all before you take the shot. Now, while this still isn't as precise as having those full manual controls, I think this is a great compromise. Because for beginner photographers who may not know the intricacies of the exposure triangle, they can still use these adjustment sliders to be able to control the exposure and take the shot that they see in their minds. And of course, I think the pros would still prefer to have those manual controls, especially for more creative images like long exposures or panning shots. But in the keynote, I was actually really surprised to see that Google implemented these features into the software for the Pixel 6 series. So using the motion photo mode, you can choose between action pan and long exposure mode. The AI and the software will automatically adjust the blur in the shot, depending on the subject that you're taking a photo of. And as you can see from the sample images that I've taken, they really nail this mode. Beginner photographers can take these amazing shots without needing to fully understand the exposure triangle and fiddle with those manual controls. However, this mode can still use some refinement to just make it look more realistic. Now, onto that one feature that everyone has been asking for: social media integration. Now, traditionally on Android, when you're using a social media app like Snapchat or Instagram, the device is just taking a screenshot of your display, and it's not using the camera or its sensors to its full potential. You can't even use the wide angle or telephoto lens, for example. And of course, the quality of the photo is blurry, grainy, and overall terrible because it's just a screenshot of your display. But with the Pixel 6 Pro, I am really happy to see that they've actually integrated the hardware cameras into these apps. So for example, if you're using Snapchat, there is a little button at the bottom of the screen where you can switch between the wide angle and the normal cameras. And when you press this button, it actually switches between the physical cameras on the back of your device. And if you want to zoom in, it doesn't show this button, but if you pinch to zoom, it does actually switch to the 4x optical zoom lens. Now for Instagram, there is no button to switch the lenses, but if you zoom out, it will show the wide angle lens on your screen. And if you try to zoom in, it will also switch to use that 4x telephoto lens. So essentially, all of these social media apps are able to use the hardware on your device. However, I also did try this with TikTok, and if you try to zoom in too much on TikTok, it freezes the viewfinder. The TikTok app still works, it just doesn't seem to be able to switch over to that telephoto lens. Hopefully this can be resolved in a future update. Now, this social media integration is amazing, and like I said, I don't think any other Android phone has this capability. Another feature that is really amazing to see is the editing capabilities built into the native camera app. As you may have seen, the highlight feature is the magic eraser, where you are able to erase background distractions out of your shots. This looks really impressive, and I'm definitely going to keep testing this out in my full review video. So if you haven't already, definitely subscribe so you don't miss it when it comes out. But besides the magic eraser, the basic photo editing tools are also a lot more advanced. And as you scroll through these editing pages, in addition to the more basic functions like exposure, highlights, and shadows, you also get more nuanced adjustments like skin tones and even a denoising slider. So once again, if you're a beginner photographer, you may not need to download another app or learn how to use dedicated programs like Lightroom and Photoshop. You may be able to just edit all of your shots on the Pixel itself with its native photo editing program. And lastly, in my preliminary testing, the stabilization is really good for videos. There are 4 different stabilization modes that you can choose from, depending on the scenario that you're shooting. In my testing so far, they all perform really well. Check out this locked off mode in 20 times zoom. I have pretty shaky hands and this footage still looks really stable. And if you want to use something like cinematic pan, for example, it smooths everything out and makes it look like you're shooting on a gimbal. Again, I'm still working on the full camera review of this device, so some things may change as I dive deeper into the details. But for now, I am really impressed with both the hardware and the software features that Google has managed to pack into the Pixel 6 Pro. And like I said, the fact that social media apps like Snapchat and Instagram can use all 3 cameras on the phone is just a game changer. So if you're still with me and watching this video, thank you so much and I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below, what other questions do you have about the Pixel 6 Pro? I'd love to answer them for you, and if I can, I'd even show some examples in my full review video. So definitely let me know in the comments. And like I said, the full photographer's review of this phone is coming soon. So if you want a Pixel peep, if you want to look at those details, definitely subscribe so you don't miss it. There's gonna be a ton of content and I'm really excited to share it all with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and that's it for now. I'll see you next time. Peace.